Hey, good morning everybody. It is Christmas Day and we just got back from our longest trip that we've ever taken. We were gone for nearly a month, but we wanted to get home in time for Christmas. We got some cold weather moving in, so it's time to winterize the rig. Now, most everybody that's probably watching this video has winterized their rig before, or you take it someplace and have them do it. And the reality of it is, it's a simple process, but it can be intimidating if you've never done it before. I know, we've been doing this now a couple years, and come to realize that there's nothing on this thing behind me that outside of major engine or transmission or drivetrain work that I can't do. And it really comes down to make sure that you're not intimidated. I've got a extensive mechanical background. I've rebuilt cars at every level that helps me on the mechanical side. But I don't know or didn't know anything about the house side. Over the course of the last 2 years, it's nothing that I haven't been able to figure out. YouTube is a wonderful place. It can mislead you sometimes. It can send you down a rabbit hole at times. But the reality of it is, if there's something that needs to be done in this thing, somebody else has probably already done it. If not, call a friend, right? What was the name of that game show? Call a friend, and there was different ways. But anyhow, if you don't know how to do something, somebody else does. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be intimidated by anything. Don't be afraid to tackle anything, because the reality of it is, if you take these things into a dealership, one, they're going to charge you an outrageous amount of money. Two, chances are that the people they have working on your rig don't have a whole lot more experience than what you do. So you're going to spend $120, $150, maybe $200 an hour to let some novice work on your rig, and it might not be right when it's done. And that could be even something as simple as winterizing. So if you haven't done this before, don't be intimidated. Go out and buy your tools, get what you need and get it done. And same way with anything on the inside. And if there's something that you don't know what to do, reach out to the RV community, the person parked next to you, or the neighbor down the road that has an RV. Chances are they can help you and get you through anything that you might have a problem with. Or hey, email me, call me, whatever. I can help you through just about anything. Outside of something that needs to be done by Cummins or Allison, there's nothing that I'm not going to be able to at least attempt. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I'll show you what I'm using and why, and probably get yourself one of these. So let me turn this around. So get yourself a 5-gallon bucket. You're going to need whatever antifreeze you choose to use. Make sure it's RV and Marine antifreeze. You don't want the green stuff that you put in your car. But this stuff is going to be safe, that if it gets into your drinking supply, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to taste good, but it's not going to hurt you. You're going to want some type of a contraption. In this case, you can buy this kit. So for me, it's got to be the end of a garden hose, and then it goes on to a clear tubing for suction, and then it's going to go, and everybody's water base is going to be similar. Might be a little bit different, but it's going to be similar. So that end of the garden hose, the female or the male end is going to go in here, and it's going to say sanitize, winterize right there, and then follow the description here of what you want to do. In this case, it's winterize, so you want these opposing each other. All right, and then the other thing you're going to want to do is, at least what I do, is I blow out everything first, and then I come back and follow up with the antifreeze. Now, one thing to call out with this antifreeze, and I've seen it online numerous times, people say, this antifreeze is no good, it freezes. Well, it does freeze, but it doesn't expand. So you really don't want to leave that in there. You just want to push it through your lines. And then once it's pushed through your lines, and you know that you got paint coming out of every orifice in the motorhome, outdoor shower, your washer dryer, if you have one, if it's a combo or a washer by itself, and your low point drains, your faucets, your toilets, everything. That's going to have to get pink to come through there. The other thing I use, again, going back to the fact that I push air through first, get yourself one of these. Now, this is Bauer. It's from Harbor Freight, and there's other brands out there. But this one here is reasonably priced. I think it's 30 bucks. Now, it doesn't include the battery, so you're going to have to get a battery. In my case, I always use a 5 amp battery. And the reason I went with this is because I got a bunch of tools from Bauer, and they're a good, decent tool for the RV, right? You're not spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on tools that you're going to use on occasions, but I carry just about every tool that you can think of. The nice thing about this is it will, you can set it and forget it. So if you need to fill up your tires, even these big 22.5-inch wheels, which are 295, 75, 22.5, they can go up to 160 pounds depending on the weight of your RV. I usually run mine at around 115, but this will go up to 180 pounds. It takes, 160 pounds. So you can see it right there. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but right there goes up to 160 pounds. It might take a little bit of time, but this will help you out on the road. But the other nice thing about it is here, pretty simple. You can set this up. All right, you get yourself one of these. You can pick these up at any hardware store. You can pick them up at just about any RV store. You can pick them up on Amazon, and it's a 3/4 inch thread male that slides into there, and then you just put this on, and I'll show you. I'll go ahead and talk through it before I turn it on, because it's going to make a bunch of noise. And then you turn it on. Whoop. All right, so turn it on, and you're going to set your pressure to whatever PSI you want. And again, you're on winterize, so you think about it as this. You're going to push air the same as you would push water, the same as you'd push antifreeze, right? So in this case, I'm going to set this to 35 PSI. Now, you can go higher. I would not go higher when you're pushing air. Typically when you're at a campsite, you're probably going to be about 45 or 50 pounds of water pressure. So 35 pounds of air is not going to hurt you at all. So you want to run this up to 35 PSI. Again, once I turn this on, it's going to make a ton of noise. So I'll go ahead and let you know what's going on. So I'm going to set this on, turn it up to 35 PSI. I'm going to let it run for a little while and let it get up to pressure. Once it does, I'm going to open up my low point drains. So in this case, I got a low point drain here for my hot water for the front of the coach. Here is the low point drain for the cold water in the front of the coach. And then in my case, and probably some of you or most of you will have two sets of low point drains. So if you have a bath and a half, you're going to have most likely two sets of low point drains. So in this case, here's my other ones back here. This is for the back of the coach, or the rear bath. So if you have those, you're going to want to set that open those for both. And then once you do that, you want to close those up, let that pressure build again, and then you're going to go inside and you're going to open up every valve that you have inside. So in my case, I got 3 sinks, 2 toilets, and a shower. I'm going to open up each one of those, and then I'm going to come out and I'm going to do my outside shower, and make sure that you're getting nothing but air out of those. The other thing you're going to want to do, if you have a whole house filter, take that filter out, throw it out. It's the end of the season. Throw it out, put a new one in before next year. But this is going to eventually, air is going to flow through this, and eventually you're going to put antifreeze in there. So just get rid of that filter altogether. So let me go ahead and turn this on, show you a little bit what's going on. I'll take you inside and show you what to look for, because you won't be able to hear anything out here when this thing's running. So I don't know if you can hear me, but you can see this pressure here starting to build. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and let that pressure build up. All right, now that pressure is built up, I'm actually in the back of the coach in the rear because there's too much noise up front with that compressor running. What you're going to do is you're going to want to reach in here, open up your valves. And just the way to know your valves are working is this is low point drains, and you want to just follow it, and it's either, but it's perpendicular, right, of the hoses to make sure it's going to drain. So you're just going to turn those. You can see there and hear there that that you had water coming out, and you're going to want to do the same thing for the hot water. Go ahead and do your hot water. You can see, I don't know, you probably couldn't see it coming down through the hole there, but you know, it's gonna drain your hot water, get all your air, or I'm sorry, all your water out, and nothing's gonna be coming out but air. Then you can go to the front and do those, and then we'll go inside and I'll show you what's going on there. All right, we're now inside. Don't pay attention to how messy this place is because we're in the process of cleaning it all out and getting everything out for the winter. I only have one slide out, which is the bedroom slide, so it's not wide open, but you just need access to all your water. In this case, here's the kitchen. You're going to open up the hot and the cold until you have nothing coming out but air. You want to push as much water out of there as you can. Between each cycle, meaning I went from the cold to the hot, let that air build up a little bit. You can hear that compressor out there running. And you're going to go and open every one of these valves. Shouldn't have a whole lot of water in there, simply because your low point drains has pushed all that. The only thing you're going to have is anything that's in the lines that are, you know, on a 90 or what have you. So into the bathroom, it's going to spit on you, so just be ready for that. And then again, you can hear that. Nothing but air. And try to get a little bit closer here with the mic, make sure you can hear that. Same thing with the toilet. I'm not going to show you the toilet. It is clean, but I mean, if you want to look at it, hey, there it is, right? But you want to do the same thing with your toilets, all right? And then you're going to want to make sure you hit every area. So in this case, coming back to the shower. Hot, cold, nothing. Rear toilet is empty. Rear bath, sink. Also going to get some damp rid put out, and then I will also run the dehumidifier all winter long. So I would suggest that you do that too if you have access to electric. Run a dehumidifier throughout the winter. You are going to get dampness in here. If not, these damp rids work out well, and these are relatively small. You can get big ones and just put one or two big ones on the floor on the inside. I think they come in like 3-gallon buckets or something. And the other thing you're going to want to do, and I'll show you when we start winterizing this, is if you have a washer dryer, in this case we have a combo, I will winterize the washer as well, and basically all you're doing is pushing antifreeze through there through the spin cycle. So we'll do that once we get started. And then if you have an ice maker in your refrigerator. In our case, we have never run water through this. We've had this now for, well, this one or the one before that. We bring ice with us. We don't use the ice maker, so I don't have to run water through that, or I'm sorry, air through that or antifreeze through that. I know I'm going to be good. And if I needed to, I have access to the panel right there. But the minute that we got this, before we ran any water through here, I closed that valve, so I know that there's no water that's ever been up to it. The other thing you're going to want to look for is if you have now this is for a tankless hot water heater. With a tanked hot water heater, honestly, you're asking the wrong person. Go in and talk to your RV dealer. He'll tell you how to do it, or just look on YouTube. But in this case, this is a Suburban hot water heater. You do want to run antifreeze through here. So a couple things you want to do first. You're done with this thing, turn it off. Leave it off all year long. The other thing is, if you can see this valve here, you're going to open this valve and let any water out of this valve to make sure there's no water in there that can freeze. So you heard the air push through there, so it is clear. And I will open that up again and make sure there's antifreeze pushing through there. So that's it for the air. You can put your compressor away. At that point, you won't need it again. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Here's the other reason for having this nice little compressor. Let me show you the other trick with this one. And you got to find a way to do it. So right here, this valve here is going to be your black tank flush. And I got one here and I got one in the back. The nice thing about this little compressor is it comes with this hose with that end, and you hook this up. Let me put this down for a second. So you hook that hose onto it, and this is for inflating balls, you know, at the campground. If you got footballs or something else that you want to inflate, air mattresses, whatever, this tool will do it. But then you take this, turn it on, push that up against there. You got to get that water out of there, and all it's going to do is blow it into your black tank. So you're going to turn this on and blow that through. It's going to be noisy. I'll just show you what's going on real quick. So it's as simple as that. And you want to do this in your front and back, because they're both going to, if you have two black tanks, you're going to have a flush for each one. So you want to do that just for a minute or so, and make sure there's no water left in there, and push that out into the black tank. You're going to do the same thing in the rear, and then from there you're going to be ready to start introducing the antifreeze to the unit. All right, you're going to get this set up and get ready to introduce your antifreeze. You're going to remove this air chuck out of here where it says sanitize antifreeze. Go ahead and put in your, in this case it's a part of a hose that I had laying around, and used the kit that came with this to reduce it down to clear tubing. It looks like it's probably looks like it's probably 3/8 tubing. And you're only gonna, even if you have a rear bath, you only have one area where you're putting water in. So get that in there nice and tight. You're gonna take, in this case, I mean, you can do it. I've done it in the past. You know, if you get yourself in a pinch, if you gotta do this at a campground, you can pull directly out of the bottles. But in this case, because I'm home, I just got a 5-gallon bucket. Got 4 gallons in here. Just gonna put this rubber hose down in here. So go ahead and clamp that on so that it stays submerged, and then you're going to turn your water pump on. So hopefully you have a way to turn it on from the outside. Some coaches will have a power button out in the water bay. Other ones, you maybe can turn it on using your phone or what have you. And if not, just get somebody to turn it on for you, just to make sure it's pumping. You don't really want to pump it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the water pump on. You're going to see it start to suck through here. So make sure you got a good water pump. And there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but as soon as you turn the water pump on, it is going to run up in there. Once it hits pressure, just like your water pump always does, it's going to shut itself off. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time, because you got to suck this water, or in this case the antifreeze, all the way through every line in the coach, including filling up that canister there. So it'll take a little bit of time. Now, you don't want to let that antifreeze run dry, so In my case, I need about 5 or 6 gallons to do this whole coach. Some need, our last coach, you needed 2.5 gallons to do the whole thing. This one's a little over 5. You get some of you guys and that have really, really big units or have dishwashers and everything else. Hey, you might need 7 or 8, but it's cheap, so make sure you have enough. And you're going to let your water pump run. You're going to want to make sure that all your faucets are shut on the inside. You're going to want to make sure your low point drains are closed until you get this antifreeze introduced into the unit and the water pump shuts off. And then you're just simply going to go and start with your faucets, open them one at a time until both hot and cold, until you have the pink antifreeze running through there. Yeah, hold on a minute. So, I think I got this figured out. Again, just going to run it on a rinse cycle with warm water, and you're just going to want to make sure that it's pulling water inside. In this case, antifreeze, and it's pink inside the drum, and then you should be good to go. After that, take what antifreeze you have left, pour down into your sinks and your shower, into the P-traps. All right, folks, just about done here. Just a couple things here that I like to do, and then you know, maybe not everybody will do this, but then I take a little bit of antifreeze, pour it down into every sink, just so it pushes any water that, let me turn this around here. Not much, cup or two. Any water that might be in your P-traps. Although, when you flushed it, you shouldn't get that out of there. But again, something I like to do, not everybody will. Put those down in your P-traps, and then I'll come by and wipe all that antifreeze up that's either in the sink or in the shower. So, that's just about it. One last piece. And one last piece, what I'll do, clean out the base so there's nothing left in here that's going to freeze, including, you know, in this case, I put my oil and additives and stuff back there. Go in there, open up your low pressure drains, and let this antifreeze out. Now, everybody's not going to do that. Some people say you don't need to do that, but you got pressure on your lines over the winter. For my case, I don't like to have that pressure on the line, so I will open up the low point drains both in the front and the back and take that pressure off the lines. Again, the antifreeze is pushed all the water out, so there's nothing left in there to freeze. And as you can see, that will pretty much take care of it. So that's about it. And then the last piece, what I'll do, turn this around here. The last piece that you're going to want to do for your rig is add some additive. Assuming that you have a diesel, even if you have a gas. If you have a gas, you want to put some type of a stabilizer in your fuel, Sta-Bil or something like that. And if you have a diesel like I do, what you're going to do is use this stuff. So this is Winter Defense from Hot Shot. So I will add this to the diesel. And I also got Hot Shot for the DEF. That is not the same. Do not use this in your DEF system. But this is for your diesel system, and then there's a treatment for your DEF system. I will winterize those so it doesn't gel up, and you won't have a problem in the summer or in the spring when you start this thing up. So I will start it throughout the winter and try to put a load on the engine and the generator. but you don't want it to gel up. So that's it, folks. I hope it helps. And like I said, if you have any questions, any problems, if you're not sure or something, just reach out. I'll help you out wherever I can. Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, ciao.